مرحبا. صحة شبتكم؟
صح شريط كلام.
يعيشك. مرحبا بكم. صباح عايشك.
لا.
let's let's start our review. به. Okay, we need to start, or we are going to start with the text. Okay, we start with our text, then we deal with some grammatical exercises related to unit number 3. Okay, okay, I think the text is repeated twice. No problem. به. Okay, let's start reading the text. Okay, we read it, then we move to the comprehension questions. Or let's start with the comprehension questions first. Okay, as usual, as I told you before, you need to read the questions before reading the text. Okay, we start with question number 1, which is, it's normally and usually tick the most suitable title to the text. Okay, the text is about risky selfies are the trend, risky selfies are annoying, or risky selfies are fatal. Fatal, it means dangerous. They end in death. Exercise number 2. Okay, you need to read the text and you correct this false statement with exact details from the text. Okay, sentence 1. Zoe and Jory have been used to visit in Europe since their honeymoon. You correct this sentence with reference to paragraph number 1. You take the exact detail. Copier-coller معناتها. Okay? Sentence number 2. Jury didn't witness the accident because he was busy preparing lunch. There is a mistake in this sentence. We read paragraph number 2 and we try to correct it. Sentence number 3. Jury mastered the language spoken in Luxembourg. He mastered it, means he speaks the language in a good way. He speaks the language well. There is a mistake here. We try to correct it. Next, we need to complete the following table with either the cause or the effect. The reason and the result, it means. Question number 4, sorry. You need to fill in the blanks with words from paragraph number 4. You pay attention here. In the question, you have fill in the gaps, sorry, with words. You mean here, you need one word. If you need more than one word, so in the question, you need to fill in the gaps with words or expressions. But here you have only words. So you need one word per blank. Just one word. Next reference. What does the word that in paragraph number 1 refer to? Question 6. Try to find words in the text having nearly the same meaning as making a dry, light sound. To make a sound. It's a light sound from paragraph number 2. Then another synonym of the following word, which is hidden, not easily seen. Then you need to give a personal justified answer to the following question. Is campaigning against dangerous selfies enough to reduce this phenomenon? Why and why not? So we have an idea from the questions that we speak about selfies, about something about a technological, it's related to technology, okay? Let's go back to the text. We read it, then we try to answer the questions. Okay, we start with paragraph number 1. A 33-year-old Belgian woman plunged 100 feet to her death after posing for a selfie on the edge of a cliff during a trip with her husband. Zoe Snooks slipped off the precipice near the village of Nadren in the province of Luxembourg on Tuesday and landed in Oath River. Her body was recovered by a team of rescuers that included police, firefighters, scuba divers. Her husband, Jury Johnson, said, "Since the pandemic, it was our little thing to drive across Europe in our van and take beautiful photos." Paragraph 2. The couple who traveled with their dogs, Joy and Ivy, had planned to return to their home on the day of the tragedy. We got up very early to take pictures of the hero, which is 4,600 foot high rock face and which is great for photos. We arrived before 9 a.m. My wife snapped photos on the edge of the cliff when she told me to look out for the dogs. I turned to the dogs and told them to wait. When I turned back to Zoe, she was no longer there. She had just vanished. It must have happened in less than 5 seconds. I didn't see or hear anything. No rustling, no screams or shouts. I looked up and saw only dust, he said. Paragraph 3. I immediately called the emergency services, but they didn't answer me or they didn't understand me. Even though I speak a little French, he said. Adding that, he rushed to the nearby Lee Belvedere Hotel to seek help. The rescue team couldn't find Zoe immediately. Then they told me that, unfortunately, Zoe was dead. Paragraph 4. Taking photos was her passion, a passion that killed her. Taking selfies from obscure and dangerous locations has become a social media craze, with people all over the world posting their daring photos online. Governments ought to launch an advice campaign outlining when not to take them, the grieving husband said. Okay? Okay, this is our text. Now we need to move to the comprehension questions. Okay, you understand that here we are speaking about selfies. Now, question number 1. What is the most suitable title to the text? Risk or risky selfies are the trends. It's the fashion. Or risky selfies are annoying, they cause problems. Or risky selfies are fatal. What about the right answer to this question? Okay, we start with A. Yes, what about A? Risky selfies are the trend. It's true. Here we are speaking about the trend, which is taking selfies. Okay, all the people are taking the selfies with their mobile phones, especially when they are in a dangerous place, when they are taking risky selfies, exactly. Okay?
I think the response is C. Risky selfie are fatal.
Good. Okay, so if you start with number 1, risky selfies are the trend, it's right. But what about the main idea of the text? It's true that we are speaking about risky selfies which are becoming the trend, but there is a problem in the text. There is a woman who is dead or a woman who died. So here we speak about something ending in death, so it should be fatal. So the right answer is C. Okay. The right answer is C, sorry. Question 1. Yeah, for the comprehension questions, we start with question number 1. The right answer is C, which is selfies are dangerous or risky selfies. Risky selfies are fatal. Now, what about the meaning of fatal? We say, for example, a fatal disease. Cancer is a fatal disease. Fatal means ending in death. Death here is a noun. The verb is to die. The past is died. And the adjective is a person who is dead. So here in the text, we have spoken about a woman who is dead because she was taking selfies. So here we are speaking about risky selfies, dangerous selfies, full of risk, selfies which are full of risk. Okay? Now we need to go back to paragraph number 1 and we try to correct this false statement. And you pay attention here, you need to take the exact detail. You need to copy the sentence. Copy coller دي ما احنا نقول. Okay, Zoe and Juri have been used to visit in Europe since their honeymoon. Okay, it means since they were married, they are accustomed or they are used to visiting Europe, starting from the past up to now. Here there is from their honeymoon, from their marriage. Okay, this is a mistake. There is a mistake in this sentence. What is it? Now we try to correct this false statement with an exact detail from paragraph number 1. They have been used to visit in Europe since their honeymoon. Right, let's go back to paragraph number 1. And we try to find the justification or the correction of the sentence. Okay, a 33-year-old Belgian woman. Okay, she plunged to her death after posing for a selfie on the edge of a cliff. Next. Okay, in line number 4. Her body was recovered by a team of rescuers that included police, firefighters, scuba divers. Full stop, then you start a new sentence. Her husband, Juri Johnson, said, since the pandemic, it was our little thing to drive across Europe in our van and take beautiful photos. So are they accustomed or are they used to visit Europe since their honeymoon? This is a mistake. It's not since their honeymoon, but since the pandemic. Good. It means since the period of coronavirus. Since 2019, sorry. Okay? So the mistake here, what is the mistake? It's not since their honeymoon. This is the mistake. It's since the pandemic. Okay, we correct it in our correction page. A, since the pandemic, it was our little thing to drive across Europe. Now we move to B. Question B. Julie didn't witness the accident because he was busy preparing lunch. Here in the text, we have the information that a woman who was taking a selfie, she died or she plunged into the sea. It's a risky place. It's a dangerous place. Now, what about this time? What was her husband doing? In my sentence, I have written here, Julie didn't witness the accident because he was busy preparing lunch. This is the mistake. He was not preparing lunch. So try to find the exact correction from paragraph number 2. We go back to paragraph number 2. The couple who traveled with their dogs, Joy and Ivy, had planned to return to their home on the day of the tragedy. We got up very early to take pictures on the 𝐓𝐤𝐤𝐤, which is 4,600 foot high rock face and which is great for photos. We arrived before 9 a.m. My wife snapped photos on the edge of the cliff. When she told me to look out for the dogs, I turned to the dogs and told them to wait. When I turned back to Zoe, she was no longer there. She was absent. The accident happened at that time. So what was the husband doing here? Was he preparing lunch?
No.
No, he was.
Look out of the dogs.
He was looking out for the dogs. I turned to the dogs and told them to wait. So he was not preparing lunch, but he was looking for the dogs. He said in the text here, it was mentioned when she told me to look out for the dogs. look out for the dogs. Okay, we can add here. I turned to the dogs and told them to wait. He was turning. I turned to the dogs and told them to wait. So he was not preparing lunch, but he was looking for the dogs. Look out for the dogs. Okay. Now we move to sentence number 3. Jury mastered the language spoken in Luxembourg. Did he master the language spoken in this place? Now, with reference to paragraph number 3, we go back to paragraph number 3, and we see the correction. Mastered, it means he speaks the language in a good way. He speaks the language well. Now, in paragraph number 3, let's reread it. I immediately called the emergency services, but they didn't understand me. Even though I speak a little French, he said, adding that he rushed to the nearby Lee Hotel to seek help. The rescue team couldn't find Zoe immediately. Then they told me that, unfortunately, Zoe was dead. Did Jury speak the language in a good way? Was he proficient at using the language? From paragraph number 3. No, he is not proficient. He doesn't speak the language in a good way. The justification is...
They didn't understand me, even though I speak a little French.
Yes. Speaking about French, he says, I speak a little French. So he didn't master the language. He is not mastering the language. He doesn't speak the language in a good way. And the language, of course, here, it's the French language. Okay? And he says here, though, I speak a little French. That's why here the emergency services didn't understand him. Okay? So here he says, I speak a little French. Good. Okay. Now we move to question number 3, in which we need to complete the cause-effect chart, the cause and the results. Now it's with reference to paragraph number 3 and number 4. Now we start with paragraph number 3. The emergency services didn't understand the husband. They didn't understand him. So what is the result? Here you have the cause, emergency, or the emergency services didn't understand him. Now, what is the result, or what is the effect? Okay, since the emergency services didn't understand him because he speaks little French.
Little French.
Yes. So what is the result? What did he do? Okay, what is the second step? Number 1, he went to the emergency services. They didn't understand him because he couldn't speak English in a good way. So he did something else. What is it? What is the second step?
Je n'arrive pas à trouver les mots. Ils peuvent pas intervenir.
With reference to paragraph number 3.
Ah, okay.
Dima في paragraph 3.
Can
okay?
return, please, the paragraph 3?
Sorry.
Check.
Yes. I immediately called the emergency. They didn't understand, even though I speak a little French. Adding that, rushed to the nearby hotel to seek help. The rescue team couldn't find Zoe immediately. So what about the second step? He immediately moved to asking help from the, or he is asking for
from a
help
hotel.
from the hotel. Good, yes. So the result is he rushed. He rushed, it means he went quickly. Yes. He rushed to the nearby hotel. Okay, this is the result. Next, we go back to the table. Okay, you have the results from paragraph number 4. The result is governments should sensibilize or sensitize the public when to take selfies, since taking selfies is very dangerous in these dangerous places, in these risky places. So the role of the government is to sensibilize, to sensitize the public, as to make them aware, to make them conscious, yeah?
Careful for...
Yeah, good, yes, exactly that. Governments, here you have the result. Governments should sensibilize or sensitize the public. This is the result. Now, what about the cause, the reason? Now, we go back to paragraph number 4 and tell me what is the reason.
A passion that killed her.
Okay, you say, taking photos was her passion, a passion that killed her. Taking selfies from obscure and dangerous locations has become a social media craze. It has become the trend, الموضة معناتها. With people all over the world posting their daring photos online. So the government, هذه result. This is the result. Governments ought to launch an active campaign outlining when not to take them. So it's the role of the government to sensibilize people that this place is dangerous, صحيتك. So you shouldn't, or people shouldn't take dangerous photos. So what is the result? What is the cause here? Why did the government had posted or has launched an advice campaign outlining when not to take photos?
Taking selfies from obscure and dangerous locations.
صحتك, very good. Because taking selfies from obscure and dangerous locations is very dangerous here, yes. And because you have many people are taking selfies from obscure and dangerous location, yes. Because it has become the social trend, the social craze. موضة الناس الكل ولا تاخذ في السيلفيز الصعيبة. Okay. So this is the reason. Because people, or because taking selfies from dangerous places or from obscure places, from obscure locations, has become a social media craze. So that's the reason. It's the cause. Now you move to question number 4. Now question 4. We need to fill in the gaps with words from paragraph number 4, and we need one word in each blank. Paragraph number 4, okay? And we need 2 words. Okay, normally a question like that, ديما السؤال هذايا, it's always about a summary. In this exercise, we change some expressions from the paragraph. We omit some words, and you need to find them. Okay. Now let's read the summary. Zoe's story is a tragedy of a woman who plunged to her death due to her. Zoe passed away, it means she died, leaving a partner. She has left her husband, her partner, who didn't know what happened to her exactly. Now we need two words from paragraph number 4. قلنا Zoe's story is a tragedy of a woman who plunged to her death due to what? She died because of what? She plunged into her death because of her
hobby.
صحيتك, but you don't have the word hobby in paragraph number 4. You have
Yes.
another word synonym of hobby. It's because of her. Line number 1, paragraph number 4.
Passion.
صحيتك, because of her passion.
Passion.
Because of her blank number 1, it's because of her passion, which means because of her hobby. Okay? In the paragraph they say she died due to her passion. She died she has left a partner. She has left her husband. Now try to describe the husband. From paragraph number 4. Taking selfies from obscure and dangerous locations has become a social media craze, with people all over the world posting their daring photos online. Governments ought to launch an advice campaign outlining when not to take them, the grieving husband said. Okay, in the paragraph you have partner, which means husband. Now we need to describe the husband. He was?
The grieving husband.
Grieving, good.
Grieving.
Yes. That's a grieving husband, good. Okay,
grieving is a synonym of partner?
Said, no, partner, it means husband. Yes, husband. Husband is the synonym of partner.
Okay. Yes? Partner. Okay.
But as a description of this partner after the death of his wife, he was grieving. It means he was sinking in sadness. He was so sad. Yes. Okay, so the second word is grieving, which means extremely sad. Okay, it's the sadness one witnesses after the death of someone. So we'll go back to the blanks. Blank number 1, it's passion. And blank number 2, it's a grieving. Sorry. Grieving partner. Okay. Now we go back to paragraph number 1 and you tell me, what does the word that refer to? This is the word. Now what does it refer to? Now we start reading the sentence from the beginning. You say he slipped off a place near the village of Nadron in the province of Luxembourg, on Tuesday, and landed in the Ourth River. Her body was recovered by a team of rescuers that included police, firefighters, scuba divers. Yeah, so we have that is underlined. Her body was recovered by a team of rescuers that included police, firefighters, and scuba divers. That, what does it refer to? نعاود الجملة ترى. Her body was recovered by a team of rescuers that included policemen, firefighters, scuba divers. So what does that refer to? It refers to? Yes, including, they say here, it's including. شكون فيهم? It's including policemen, firefighters, scuba divers. So that here is referring to a team of a team of rescuers. That refers to a team of rescuers. Okay. Now you move to question number 6, which is to find 2 words, not expressions, words. One word meaning making a dry, light sound from paragraph number 2, and hidden, not easily seen from paragraph number 4. Now you focus on the end of paragraph number 2. I turn to the dogs. Let's start reading. Wait a minute. Paragraph number 2. We try to find a word which means making a light sound. A light sound. Sound. صوت معناتها. Light sound. Okay? Now we start reading from line number 3, 4 or 5 if you like. Okay? My wife snapped photos on the edge of the cliff when she told me to look out for the dogs. I turned to the dogs and told them to wait. When I turned back to the way, she was no longer there. She has just vanished. It mustn't have happened, or it must have happened in less than 5 seconds. I didn't see or hear anything. No rustling, no screams, and no shouts. I looked up, saw only dust, he said. A word which means a light sound. It can't be screams and shouts because they have the same meaning. Scream. When someone is screaming, it means producing a loud voice. The opposite is rustling. Rustling. Okay? And pay attention here to the expression, to the explanation, sorry. Look, in question number 6, you have making a dry sound or a dry light sound. You say making, it's in the ing form. So you need to find the synonym in the ing form also. Okay? So a light sound, well, making a light sound. Making a light sound. It should be in the ing form. We have found it, it's a rustling. It means she died without making any noise. She died without making any sound. Okay? The word is rustling. That's A. Now we move to B. Okay, the word to look for is, or the meaning of the word is hidden, not easily seen. Let's say it, it's not easily seen. It's from paragraph number 4. Okay, number 1 here is, wait a minute, it's here, team of rescuers. And here it's rustling. Not easily seen from paragraph number 4. Okay, that's paragraph 4. Taking photos was her passion, a passion that killed her. Taking selfies from obscure and dangerous locations has become a social media craze, with people all over the world posting their daring photos online. Did you find the word? It's obscure. The word is obscure. Okay. We move to question number 7. The usual question, number 7, it's the personal justified answer. It means, what is your reaction to the text? How would you behave if you were at, for example, the writer's place? Okay, what do you think of that's a reaction. You react. You give a personal justified answer. What does it mean, personal justified? معناتها you need to give your own words. You don't take anything from the text. حد شيء من النص. Okay? Okay, it's your personal justification, personal justified answer. Now the question is, now, is campaigning against dangerous selfies enough to reduce this phenomenon? Why and why not? Now, what is the procedure or what is the measure taken by the government to cut the risk of this danger of risky selfies? It's organizing campaigns, organizing awareness campaigns معناتها حملات توعوية. Yeah. Is it enough to reduce this phenomenon, this craze, this trend? Yes. Okay, if you say, okay, we can say yes, of course, and no, but you give your personal justified answer. Okay. Now, personally, I think it's not enough. I think that the government should take other procedures. The government should ban, should forbid these selfies in dangerous locations or in dangerous places. So taken selfies should be banned by law. And the offenders of the law, if you break the rules or if you break the laws, people will be penalized. Okay? Of course, we are not going to put them in prison, but we should penalize them by fining, for example, obliging them to pay fines. So I personally think that no. Is campaigning against dangerous selfies enough? No. You will say no. Campaigning against dangerous selfies is not enough. I think the government should ban. Okay, they should be banned by law. They should be banned or they should be forbidden. It's منعوا معناتها. Forbidden by laws, by legal procedures. And if people break the rules or break these laws, they should be penalized. And those who break the rules, ولا who break the laws, should be penalized. They should be penalized or they should be punished. So as such, we have dealt with the text. So we have an idea about the way we give a text, the way to ask questions about a topic. Yes. Okay, and it's usually we have always the same plan. Question number one is always put the right, choose a title, well, choose the best title to the text. Question number two, it's always correct these statements with exact details from the text. You have the question number three, you have the same question. Okay, it's repeated many times in the back exams. Okay, you complete the chart with either the cause or the effect. Question number four also here. It always exists in the back exam papers. You need to fill in the blanks with the missing words. You take the words from the text. If they ask you to give words, so you need one word in a blank. If you are asked to fill in the blanks with words or expressions, so you need in one blank, one more, more than one word. Okay. Reference, it always exists, and synonyms always exist in a test. Okay. Okay, it's the same test is repeated twice. Okay, you have the again. Now let's go back to the exercise of grammar that we didn't finish last time. Okay. Okay, this is the exercise. Okay, it's about the expression glass ceiling issue. We have explained it previously. Okay, it refers to the problem of racism between men and women in the field of job. Okay? So, language. Task 1. You need to fill in the gaps with words from the list. Let's start first with reading the words and we explain them. Okay, you have the expression such, qualified, effectively, advancement, and skilled, prevents, deprived, and leadership. Okay, now let's start with explaining the words. Okay, what about word number 1? Such. Normally you say such as. So when you find the word such, it's always followed by as. Such as means, for example. We say, for example, or for instance. Of course, sometimes you can find the word such independently, without as. For example, you say such father, such son. Okay, but here, or sometimes it's accompanied by the word as. Now you move to word number 2. Qualified. A qualified person. Qualified here is an adjective. The verb is to qualify. And a person who is qualified is a person who has qualifications. So the noun is qualification. So qualify, qualified, and qualifications. A qualified person is a person who has, for example, a diploma, who has a degree. Qualifié, like the French words. Now you move to word number 3, which is effectively. Effectively. You have effectively, an adjective, plus ly. What do you get here is an adverb. Let's remember, what is an adverb? An adverb is used to we have 2 uses of an adverb. It's either to describe the verb. For example, you say, he speaks slowly. He speaks fluently. Fluently here is an adverb to describe the verb speak. That's one. That's the first use. The second use of an adverb is it's when the meaning of the sentence is complete. So you put it or you omit it from the sentence and the meaning is always clear and the sentence is meaningful. For example, okay, the second case, it's when the meaning is complete. For example, you say, I understand you. Or you can say, I completely understand you. You can add the word completely. You can add an adverb. So completely here, you can put it or you omit it without changing the meaning of the word. Okay? The meaning is always clear. The meaning is always complete. So you say, I understand you, or I completely understand you. So that's an adverb. Okay, you have the adjective plus ly, you get an adverb to describe the verb, or you put it when the meaning of the sentence is complete. Just one remark, if you have the word, for example, natural, it's ending in L, you add another ly, it becomes naturally, so it becomes double ly. And when you have an adjective ending in y, like easy, for example, you add an ly, but you need to change the y into I. تولي easily. You see? Okay, now we move to the following word, which is advancement. After effectively, another word, advancement. Okay, the verb is to advance. If you add M-E-N-T, so automatically here we are speaking about a noun. Next, after advancement, you have the word unskilled. Skilled, you say a skilled person. The opposite is, you have added here a prefix, it's unskilled person. And here, skilled and unskilled, these are some adjectives, okay? Next, you have the word prevent, deprived. You pay attention here. You have prevents or prevented. Prevented. What do you say? Prevented from. It's the equivalent. They have the same meaning as, or it has the same meaning as the word deprived of. So what do we say? Prevented from and deprived of. And they have the same meaning. We need to explain it if you don't understand it. For example, you say an orphan. An orphelin, it means. An orphan is deprived of love or tenderness. Or you say an orphan is prevented from love. Okay, we are left with the final word, which is leadership. Leadership. This is a noun. The verb is to lead. And the person who leads is a leader. You see, you have lead, you add ER, you get the noun of the person, and you add ship to get another noun. Yes? نعودها ترى. Lead plus ER plus ship. Now, lead plus ER, it's the noun of the person. Plus ship, you get another noun. It's a general noun. Okay, let's go to our paragraph. The term glass ceiling issue, or glass ceiling, was coined by the writer and consultant Marilyn Loden in 1978 at the Women's Exposition in New York. The term described how the workforce was divided, with women and minorities accessing fewer opportunities. What do you need to underline here? It's the word opportunities. Opportunities is a noun. So what do you need before it? Normally, it should be an adjective to describe the noun. But here we don't need an adjective. We need another word. Here we're speaking about the glass ceiling issue, which is the segregation between men and women. Sometimes in a corporation or in a firm, في شركة, women have less opportunities to be promoted, for example. So if you have the choice between a man and a woman to be at the head of the corporation, at the head of the firm, they choose, normally it's a man who is chosen, not a woman. So women here, according to sentence number 1, okay, the workforce was divided with women and minorities accessing fewer opportunities. Opportunities of what? Opportunities of what? Yeah? Okay, it should be normally fewer leadership opportunities. Fewer leadership opportunities, which means that women are prevented from being appointed as leaders. They are prevented from this right because they are women, okay? So word number 1 is leadership. Now, word number 2, let's move. It's not women's lack of talent, skill level, or ambition that them from accessing further opportunities. معناتها women are not do not lack talents. They don't. It doesn't mean they don't have skills, or it doesn't mean that they don't have ambitions. It's not that them from accessing further opportunities. You have here, we need to underline from. So the word should be, what is the word that goes with the word from? What do we say? Such from, qualified from? No, it's a, they are
deprived.
نقولوا deprived of يا عمر.
deprived
deprived
of.
of.
Okay.
Donc prevent, donc the other word قلناها من اللفظ deprived of. صحيتك, and prevented from. Good.
Prevented.
Okay, so the word that prevent or prevented them, prevented in the past, هكاكا. Yes, sorry, prevents. Yes. So number 2, it's a prevents. So you have the choice between prevents and deprived. They have the same meaning, yes? But we choose here prevents because you have the word from, or you have the preposition from. So it's not women's lack of talent, skill, or ambition that prevents them from accessing further opportunities. There are other factors. As unconscious bias that can affect whether women move up to the corporate ladder or move up, the corporate ladder. We have here the expression as.
Such.
صحيح. So it should be such as. Now we move to C. You have such. معلش, because you have as. Now you move to D. Such as unconscious bias and can affect whether women move up the corporate ladder. To address these issues, companies should be transparent when it comes to their promotion process, ترقيات, so they can show that they have given all employees equal opportunities. We need a description of the employees. Who are the employees who are promoted? Okay, we need a description, of employees. Okay. We have 2 descriptions or 2 adjectives. عندنا qualified and unskilled. Okay, who are the employees or who are the workers who are promoted? Normally they should be, is it qualified ولا unskilled? Normally it should be qualified. Qualified workers who, good. Qualified workers who are promoted. They have the opportunity to be promoted. Yes. Next here it says, this will eliminate bias and destroy the glass ceiling issue. Listen to my sentence again. This will eliminate bias and destroy the glass ceiling issue. So here the meaning is complete. What do we add or what can we add if the meaning is
Effectively.
complete? صح? It should be an adverb which is effectively. It's effectively because the meaning is complete. So you have such as, see, but given all qualified. Next you have effectively. Now we are left with the final word, which is men must also be willing to set up, speak up, and advocate for the of women in the workplace. So men also can participate in improving the position of women in the workplace. Improving or progressing, or synonym is the progress, the development. Synonym, you need a noun. معناتها here we need good, the advancement of women, sorry. Advancement of women. And as such, we finish. لا, we didn't finish. No, we finish. Okay, so this is exercise number 1. Now we move to exercise number 2. Task 2 of the language. Here we need to put the bracketed words in the right tense or in the right form. Now, just to help you, we need to underline for 30 years. This is the indication of time. Then you need to underline than. It shows you which form do you need. Next, you have the word uses. Here, it's a noun. So you know what do you need before the noun. Next, good, that's all. Now we start with number 1. It's about video games. It's true that video games can teach certain cognitive skills. However, the negative effect of these gaming or of these games is something that be debated for 30 years. Now we start with the first indication of time. And when you find the expression for over the year,
that will be debated.
Pay attention, Omar. عنا for over the years. عنا just. عنا since. Already. Ever. Never. Recently. So far. Up to now. These are indications of the present perfect. Present perfect. معناتها when you find these expressions for 5 years, for example, over the years, just, since, already, ever, never, recently, so far, and up to now, you need to use the present perfect. Now, what is the present perfect? The present perfect is has or have plus the past participle of the main verb. Now, we use has. For example, yes, has been with verb to be. Good. Has with he, she, and it. Have with you, they, we, and of course I. So we come back to this verb. You say, sorry. However, the negative effect of these games is something that be debated for 30 years. So we need the present perfect here. But it's something معناتها singular. Singular, is it has ولا have? Singular. like it, for
has.
example. So it's a has been. Good. Sorry. Has been. So the right answer should be الأولانية شنية has been. This is the right answer. Now you move to the second word. These drawbacks, like addiction, aggressive behavior, and various health consequences, tend to get far many media coverage than the benefit. Wait a minute. This is number one. A. Now you move to B. Now in B, you have your sentence including than. Now when you find than, what you need here is the comparative form. Now what about the comparative form? Okay, you have two forms or two ways to get the comparative. For example, you have the adjective nice, which is a short adjective. It becomes nicer, nicer than, big, bigger than, short, shorter than, hot, hotter than. Okay? Here you have a short adjective. Now, what about the case if you have a long adjective? A long adjective means an adjective made up of more than one adjective. For example, the expression beautiful. Yes. Beautiful. You have three syllables, sorry. So it's a long adjective. How do you get the comparative form here? You say more beautiful than, more expensive than, more comfortable than. So when you find than, we come back here. So here the form that you need to add or to use, it's the comparative form. So if you have a short adjective, you add er. If you have a long adjective, you add more. With some exceptions. Here we have some exceptions.
For this example, change this with more.
صحتك. Good. You are speaking about more here. Now, what are the exceptions? We have seen them previously. They are good. In the comparative form, it becomes better, better than. And the opposite is bad. You change it. ما توليش better, but it becomes worse than. You have also many and much together. The comparative form of many and much, it's more, more than. Now, what about the opposite? It's a little. In the comparative form, it's less than. We come back to our exercise now. These drawbacks like addiction, aggressive behavior, and various health consequences tend to get far many media coverage than the benefits. Donc, باش نخرجوا من many, it would be more. Okay. This is the second word, هكاكا. So it's a B هذيا. More than. This is the right answer. Now you move to number 3, C. There is now a wealth of research which show that video games can be put into. There is now a wealth of research. We didn't underline the expression now. It shows that we are speaking about the present. Now. So see here, it's the simple present. What is the simple present? It shows. You just add an S. This is the simple present. Now, what is the simple present? When do you use it? When you are speaking about a habitual action or an action that is always repeating. You can find the adverbs of frequency like always, usually, often, sometimes. You use the simple present. Now, what is the simple present? You take the verb, you keep it as it is, except with he, she, and it. You add an S to the verb. It's verb plus S. For example, the example here is clear. Show, shows. It shows, he shows. Play, plays. With he, she, and it. Now, what about the negative form? The negative form of the present. Negative. What do you mean exactly by negative? Sometimes you are given the expression, for example, not, I not show. You speak about the present. You put the verb show in the present in the negative form. شو نقولوا? I don't show. They don't show. You don't show. But if you have he, she, and it, what is the negative of show here? Well, what is the negative verb? Instead of saying I don't show, شو نقولوا? She or he or it doesn't show. Doesn't show. Okay, you see the S. So the right answer here is Hannah more. Next you have, there is a new wealth of research which shows that video games can be put to educate users. Now we move to D. On educate. Then you have use or uses. Okay? Here it's a noun. So what do you need before the noun? It should be an adjective. Okay? Now what is the adjective from educate?
Use is not the verb use.
لا, it's not a verb. It's we say to use, it's the verb. With the use, it's the noun. To use. To use, to utilize, يستعمل. It's the verb. And the noun is use. يتبدل كالنطق, ها? Here it's Z and it's use. That's a noun. But here we have to educate use. It's used in education. So we use video games, or video games are put into educate uses. What do you need from the word educate? It's an adjective. What is the adjective from educate? It's educational.
Education.
Good. Education is the noun, and the adjective is educational. So what you need here is educational. Educational uses, as well as many studies which reveal how playing video games have great informative potential in addition to their entertainment value. Games that are designed to address specific problem or teach specific skill have been very successful precisely because they are highly interested. Now we start with number one. Games that are ترى هنحاول نقرأ الجملة متاعنا هك. Games that are designed to address specific problem. It's right, and the meaning is complete. So what do you need here is? What do you need here? It should be an أصحتك. Good عمر. Okay, you need an adverb here. Specific. Specific is an adjective. But the adverb is not specifically, it's specifically. Specifically. So you change it into another adjective اللي هو specifical, and you add another ly, and you get the adverb which is specifically. So here, games that are specifically designed to address to specific problem or to teach specific skill have been successful precisely أو عنا adverb آخر because they are highly. You describe the video games now. How will you describe the video games? From the verb to interests. So you have the verb is to interest. This is the verb. Now we have two adjectives. We can find two adjectives from the word interest. We can find interesting and interested. Now we need to see what is the difference between an adjective ending in the ing form and an adjective ending in ed. For example, you say, you describe a subject, it causes boredom. So you say the subject is boring. You use the ing form here to describe something. Now, when you study this subject, which is boring, the pupil is bored. You use an adjective ending in ed because you are describing the feeling or the effect of something on someone. Okay? Now, let's repeat. An ing, it's to describe something, and ed, it describes the effect of something, you describe the feeling of someone. Okay? Donc, شو نقولوا لهنا؟ Precisely, video games, because video games are highly interesting ولا interested. Of course, you are describing the video games, so you say it's interesting. Interesting. And here specifically. And as such, we finish with paragraph number 2 or task number 2. For the writing, we have dealt with that last week. No need to repeat it. Okay, here is the text. Now we move to okay, it's the same exercise, I think. The term. We move to exercise number 2. هذا الexercise الأولاني اللي خدمناه. Unskilled and prevents. Now we move to the final to exercise number 2 again. Okay, in which we need to circle the right alternative. Okay, it should be here exercise number 3. This exercise. So here we have task 2. Circle the right alternative. Okay. Okay, let's start with the exercise, and we need to underline the keywords. Okay, task number 2, here it says circle the right alternative. As it is rightly said that necessity is the mother of invention. We say that in Arabic also. الحاجة أم الاختراع. So necessity is the mother of invention. All technologies that have emerged and thrived so far, had invented, will have been invented to meet the needs of society. As newer technology is introduced, it certainly reflects the very essence of the population's needs and wants. Nowadays, technologies and societies are inseparable. It's like a cycle where each one significance, affects the other. As humans evolve and their needs and wants change over time, advanced and modern technology come to the rescue to fulfill these needs. We have reached a point who, where, what, it's difficult to imagine life without technology. It has considerably changed the quality of life. By seeping into every aspect of our life, technology has changed the way we behave and operate. Full stop, and you start a new sentence. From communication and transport to healthcare, by communication and transport to healthcare, ولا in communication and transport to healthcare and connectivity, technology has enhanced our lives for the better. The influence of technology in our daily lives is far, much more, most widespread than we actually think. It has changed the way we invent resources, we win resources, or we access resources, and the way we learn new things. Okay? Now we start with word number one, with difficulty number one, or the first grammatical point. B. What do you need to highlight here or to underline? It's a so far. Sorry, it's not clear. Okay, we underline so far. To find the right answer. باش قلنا قبليك. So far is an indication. We go back to the exercise. Okay, when you find the expression so far, which tense do you need? ايش قلنا في task number 2. For, over the year, just, since, already, ever, never, recently, and so far.
Present
You
perfect.
need the present perfect, okay? Donc, شحالنا لهنا invented. Second word, it's had invented. And third word, it's have been invented. Where is the present perfect here?
Have been.
صحيح. It's have been. It's right. It's right. Yes. Number one, invented. It's the past. Had invented. It's the past perfect. Have been invented. It's the present perfect in the passive form. Okay. It's the present perfect. المفيد عنا ال present perfect here. Okay. Donc, answer number one. Answer A. It's have been invented. What do you need here? It's what you need is the present perfect. ليش? We have so far. When you find so far, so it's the present perfect. Now you move to B. Okay. We move directly to the, where is it? Okay. It's like a cycle where each one affects the other. Listen to me. I'm going to repeat the sentence without reading the words between brackets. I say, it's like a cycle where each one affects the other. So the meaning is complete. If the meaning is complete, what you need here is an adverb. Good. What is the adverb from? صح. It should ديما. An adverb, it's ending in ly. So you have, it's significantly. Significantly. باهي. What about the verb? Here, it's an adverb. The verb is to signify. The adjective is significant. And when you add ly, you get the adverb. Okay? So the right answer should be here significantly. Significantly affects the other. As humans evolve and their needs and wants change over the time, advanced and modern technology come to the rescue to fulfill these needs. We have reached a point, now we underline a point, احنا وصلنا لمرحلة, we have reached a point, who, where, what, it's difficult to imagine our life without technology. Normally, when you say a point, it's something. So it should be replaced by which. What is the relative pronoun which replaces things? Well, animals, it should be which. But in the list here, we don't have which. So you speak about the point as a place. So you will say, we
Where?
have reached a point where it's difficult to imagine. Good. Where it's difficult to imagine life without technology. So here we are speaking about relative pronouns. When you use who, you replace who is replacing the person. Where is referring to the place. Which, it replaces something or an animal. Okay. Now we move to the following difficulty, which is you start your sentence with from, by, in. Technology has changed our life in many domains, starting from communication, transportation, healthcare, and connectivity. What do you have in this sentence? You have the expression to or the preposition to. Which
By,
preposition
no?
goes with it's a مثلا نحن we study from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. ما دام عندنا to, so what you need here it's a
From.
from. Yes. Okay, you have the technological devices here. They range from or they vary from communication, transportation to healthcare. Okay. So the preposition that we need here is from. معلش, because we say from to. Okay. We study from 8 to 10. From 2. Next we move. Donc the answer is from. We are left with the following. The influence of technology in our daily lives is far much widespread than, more widespread than, ولا most widespread than. عرضتنا هذه قبليك. Yes. Okay, you have the word than. So what you need here is the comparative.
Comparative more.
What is the comparative? Yes, so it should be more. So E here. If you have much and many, what is the comparative form of much and many? It's more. How do you know that it is more? Because you have the expression than. Well, how do you know it's the comparative? Or how do you know that we need the comparative form? Here, علاش? Because you have than. Finally, here, it has changed the way we invent resources, we win resources, or we access resources. Of course, it should be access resources. So it's F here. The right answer is access. Okay, this is a verb. The noun also, it's the same, access. And the adjective from access, it's accessible. Something is accessible, something that you can access. It's an accessible thing. Very good. Good. Now we have dealt with exercise number 2. Now you move to exercise number 3, task 3. Gap filling. Okay, the paragraph is about brain drain. If you remember what is brain drain, it's the movement of highly skilled people or highly qualified people, intelligent people from developing countries, which means poor countries like Tunisia, for example, to developed countries. These people emigrate, they move there because of, for example, they want to have better jobs, better salaries, better working conditions. Some others are looking for refuge, if you remember. Okay? Now we need to fill in the blanks with the missing words. Okay, the words are working, the ing form of work, mostly, discourage, the opposite of encourage, attract, you attract someone, so something is attractive. Experience, it's a noun. Loss, it's the noun from to lose. Intellectual, it's an adjective from the intellectual people, for example, or intellectual reason. And you have finally the word migrant. Let's explain them first. Okay, working, it's easy, the ing form. Mostly. Next you have discourage. Discourage is the opposite of encourage. The noun is, here is a verb. The noun is discouragement. Now the noun from encourage, it's encouragement. Next you have, the word is attract. The adjective is something attractive. And the noun is attraction. Next, you have to experience. It can be a verb, to experience. The noun is experience, to experience and an experience. Next, you have the word loss. Loss here, it's a noun from the verb to lose. The past of lose is lost. The past participle is again lost. Now, when you speak about brain drain, you say, is it a gain or a loss? So here, loss, it's the opposite of gain. خسارة وإلا ربح. Okay? Intellectual, we have said here, it's an adjective. And finally, the word migrant. Migrants. People who migrate. People who migrate are migrant or migrants. The verb is to migrate. The noun is, the general noun is migration. And the person who migrates is a migrant. Okay, we can find other synonyms of the word migrant or a synonym of the verb to migrate, migrate, immigrate, immigrate. They have nearly the same meaning. You speak about the movement from one place to another, or the movement, if you refer to brain drain, it's the movement of from developing countries to developed countries. Okay, the paragraph is not speaking about brain drain exactly, but it speaks about reverse brain drain. What does it mean? It's the opposite of brain drain. Now, when you speak about a brain drain, it's, for example, from Tunisia to Canada, which means from poor countries to rich countries. But when you speak about reverse brain drain, it's the opposite. شنو معناتها؟ which means people who immigrate from Tunisia and they stay in Canada, after spending 10 or 20 years, they decide to go back. They decide to go back to Tunisia. So you call it reverse brain drain. Okay? So it's from, for example, Canada. They decide to go back to Tunisia. هذه نسميوها reverse brain drain. Now, to encourage, normally we should encourage reverse brain drain. If you have many immigrants spent, for example, 10 or 50 or 20 years in Canada or in France, then after decades, they decide to come back to Tunisia in a phenomenon that we call reverse brain. This phenomenon should be encouraged. حاجة باهية هي راهي لبلادنا كان يرجعوا يستقروا في تونس مثلا. Those who immigrate. Okay, this is the main idea of the paragraph. Now let's read the paragraph and we fill in the blanks with the missing words. أيوة. What do you have here? Just a minute, we see if we have another exercise. نتفقد عنا شي exercise آخر مازلنا ما خدمناش. No, it's only that. Okay, so reverse brain drain is a form of brain drain where human capital moves in reverse from a more developed country to a less developed country. For example, from Canada, they decide to come back to Tunisia. These, okay, you underline this. When you find this plus singular. And if you find these plus plural. So in blank number 1, you need a plural noun. These. Now you go back to the list and you see how many plural nouns do we have. Good. So it should be normally these migrants. Good. Donc A, it should be these migrants with an S. These migrants may accumulate savings. They have their savings. معناتها جملوا فلوس. Also known as remittances. Yes. And develop skills overseas that can be used in their homeland or in their home country. Overseas, it means when they move to another place abroad. They go to Europe, for example. Europe is overseas. Brain drain can happen or can occur when scientists, engineers, and other elites migrate to a more developed country to learn in its universities, perform researches, or gain experience. Now, what do you need in blank number 2? Brain drain can happen when scientists, engineers, and other elites and other people normally. Yes.
Intellectual.
صحتك. Good, Omar. Yes, it should be intellectual to describe the elite. So B, it's intellectual. Intellectual. Elite. We have elite is a noun. Normally, before the noun, you need an adjective. In the list, you have, I think, one adjective, which is, we can find working and intellectual, but here you need intellectual. So blank number 1, it's migrant. And blank number 2, it's intellectual. Intellectual elite. Okay, let's repeat. Brain drain can happen when scientists, engineers, or other intellectual elite migrate to a more developed country to learn in its universities, perform research, or gain experience. Now try to describe the experience. They want to gain an experience. In which domain? They want to gain experience in areas where education and employment opportunities are limited in their homeland ولا home country. Okay? So what do they want? What do they want to gain? They want to gain experience.
experience.
Now, we have the word experience. عنا احنا
Right.
déjà experience. You have it. So we need to describe it. We are left with one adjective. In the list, you have another adjective.
Mostly.
Except intellectual. Mostly ly. It's ending in ly, so it should be an adverb. Okay. Okay, we have another adjective. It's ending in ing, so it's a working. It's working experience. Working experience in areas where education and employment opportunities are limited in their home country. Next, the occurrence of reverse brain drain depends on the state of country's development. Listen again to my sentence. The occurrence of reverse brain drain depends on the state of the country's development. The meaning is complete.
Je pense que tu as
سامحني
raté.
Yes, I have skipped one. Where is it? قلنا or gain working experience in areas where education and employment opportunities are limited in their home country. من بعد. These professionals then return to their home country after several years to start a business. They have many years of experience. Good. They have many years of experience, or they spent many years of experience. So they decide to come back in order to start, in order to start a business, a new business, to teach at the university, to work full time, or to work for a multinational in their home country. Now the final sentence, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5. The occurrence of reverse brain drain depends on the state of the country's development. I told you here the meaning is complete. Reverse brain drain depends on the state of the country.
So we need
what do you need?
the adverb.
What is the adverb? It should be ending in ly. So it should be
mostly.
Mostly. Yes. Mostly depends on the state of country's development and also strategies and planning over a long period of time to reverse the migration. Next, you have countries that are attractive to returning intelligentsia will naturally develop migration policies. Why? To foreign academics, professionals, and executives. We need to encourage them to come back to our country. أيوة. What is the word? شو بقى لنا احنا؟ قلنا we need to encourage them or we need to sorry بس yes okay see it's working. No, we eliminate the words. شعنا working we have used it mostly. done. شعنا experience done. Intellectual done and migrant done. شو بقى لنا؟ بقى لنا discourage, attract and loss. وانت عندك you have to good. It's to attract immigrants. صحيح. To encourage them to stay in Tunisia. نشجعوهم يرجعوا لبلدان. Okay. So migrant and intellectual working. Next you have experience. And E, it's mostly. So you have mostly, and we are left with the final word, which is to attract. We need to attract them to come back. So we have dealt with attract. So the two extra words are discourage and loss. C'est bon?
Yep, yes.
Yes. Okay, let me see if we have something left. So we have dealt with the text. The text is repeated twice, no problem. Good. Okay, so let's go back. So we have dealt with many exercises. So we have a good review of unit number 3. Just to remark about the paragraphs. Paragraph number 1. It's time to end the brain drain and move to brain gain. It's time for the great minds of our country to return back home, or to return home. Okay, you are asked here to write an article about what should be done to encourage highly skilled immigrants to come back to their homeland and showing how the return can contribute to the development of Tunisia. This is one of the topics that we have dealt with. خدمناه مليح قبل. Okay. The second topic that I gave you here, it's about, I think, video games. أيوة. Although there are some great benefits to video games for young people, it's important to be aware of some of the risks that might impact their well-being. Write a 12-line article about the negative effects of excessive gaming on young people and support it with sound arguments. Okay, it's clear, it's simple, and we have dealt with this topic previously. And last week we have dealt with the same topic, but the same idea, sorry, but it's not about video games. We have spoken about mobile phones. It's one of the previous back exams. Okay, but just I need to remind you of your plans or of your plan of your writing. Remember, things to remember when you are writing a paragraph. ديما شو يقول لك write a 12-line article ولا write a 12-line one it's article or write a 12-line speech or write a 12-line letter or a blog post. Okay, pay attention. Let's start with number 1, article. It should start with a title, attractive title, for example, about technology. So you say, for example, wise use of technology or a wise use of video games. This is a title. Now, number 2, if they ask you to write a speech, خطاب معناتها. A speech, it should start with ladies and gentlemen. Comma, and you start your speech. You start with introducing yourself, for example. Yeah. Now, if you are asked to write a letter, number 3, your letter should start with dear someone, dear editor, dear friend, dear, for example, dear readers or dear editor, dear friend. See? Okay. Now, let's take an example of article, an article. It should, of course, include a title. Your plan is an introduction, in which you introduce the topic you will speak about. For example, you will speak about video games. So introduce your topic. Speak generally about video games. That's part number 1. Now, part number 2 of your introduction, you need to deal with the topic sentence. Subtopic sentence means the main idea, your plan. What are the ideas that you are going to develop in your body? For example, you are going to speak about the negative effects of video games. This is your topic sentence. Negative effects of video games. So these two parts should be included in your introduction. Okay? It's clear that here you are going to speak about the negative effects, well, the drawbacks of video games. Now you move to your body. This is the introduction. Now you move to your body. Okay, the best article or the best paragraph should include three arguments. Three. You are always asked to give 3 sound arguments. 3 supporting arguments. Now, to start with argument number 1, you usually say to start with. Or you say
First of all.
First of all. Good. First of all. You give your argument. For example, you say video games have harmful effects on your health. مثلا, you will speak about health. Now we need to explain it more. You give examples. Now, if you want to give an example, you say, for example, in fact, number 1, you say the video games have harmful effects on our health, and you give some examples. You say, for example, in fact, they may strain the eyes, they may cause backache, headache, they may cause obesity, for example. That's the first idea. It's the first argument. That's number 1. Now we move to number 2 and number 3. I'm giving you here the linkers. Now to introduce argument number 2, you will say, moreover, or furthermore. You speak about your argument. For example, you will speak about the effect of video games on education or educational performance. You need to explain it more. You will say, indeed, كما قلنا هنا, in fact. You will say, indeed. For example, children who spend too much time playing video games, this can affect it can affect their school performance. Thus, they will have poor school results. Now, we move to the final argument. Normally you say, or it's better to say last but not least. You speak about your arguments. Argument number 1, it's about the health, the effect on the health. Part number 2, it's the effect on education. Part number 3, for example, it can be the effect of video games on social well-being, for example, social life of the gamers, social well-being. Now we need to exploit your idea more. You explain it more. You say, in reality, and you exploit it more. Okay? This is the body, which should include 3 parts. Now we come to the conclusion. How to conclude the topic? You say, to conclude.
To conclude.
Good. To conclude. to sum up, or you say to put things, this is a nice expression, to put things in a nutshell. It's the equivalent of to conclude or to sum up. Huh? Okay, in your body you spoke about the bad effects of video games. So you repeat the same idea. You say it's evident to conclude or to put things in a nutshell or to sum up. It's clear that video games have many drawbacks, for example. But you need to add another sentence. For example, you can suggest some solutions. Yes. You say, for example, video games in the good hands, they can be a benefit. Yes. Okay, you try to escape the problem. You can suggest a solution or I don't know the conclusion, how to conclude. Let me remember a good conclusion to this theme. So I have said that to conclude, it's evident that video games have many bad effects, but you say, however, when used wisely, these video games can enhance our life. So, هنكتبوها احنا الكونكلوزيون. So, you say it's evident that video games have many drawbacks or many blemishes. Yet, well, however, when used or when they are used wisely, and a wise use of video games, when used wisely, video games can let's say improve our life, or enhance our life, not destroy it, not destroy it. So this is the best plan of any paragraph normally, yes, if you are given an article, for example. So you start with your introduction, you introduce the topic, then you give your topic sentence. For example, you are asked to write about the mobile phones and their good effects. So you will say that mobile phones are becoming widespread, while mobile phones have become an integral part of our modern life. Yes? Next, you move to the topic sentence. Are you going to speak about the positive or the negative sides? Next, you move to your body. The best body should include 3 arguments. Argument number 1, you introduce it saying, first of all, well, to start with, you explain it more saying, in fact. You move to the second argument. You start it with moreover or furthermore. And you need to explain it more saying indeed. And finally, you say, well, last but not least, you give your argument and you explain it more saying in reality. The conclusion now, normally the best conclusion should include 2 parts. You repeat, what have you spoken about in part number, in the body? You say, for example, it's clear, it's evident that mobile phones have many drawbacks, while video games have many drawbacks, yet we suggest a solution, or you express your point of view. For example, you say, when we use mobile phones in a wise way, well, when we use video games in a wise way, we can, these games can, or the mobile phones can enhance our lives, not destroy it or not dominate it. So we will say, to sum up things, you will say that technology, this is the final sentence of our meeting today. Technology should serve as a bridge, not a barrier. Okay, that's all for tonight. Thank you very much for attending. I wish you good luck for your tests. وربي معاكم وإن شاء الله نكملوا رمضان لاباس يا ربي. هاي ربي
ميرسي
معاكم
بوكو.
وتصبحوا على خير. يعطيكم الصحة
ميرسي بوكو، تصبح على خير.
وربي
عايشك.
معاكم. عايشك.